What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the linebacker evaluations, and we've seen the best. Now we got to see the rest. Although, quite frankly, these next couple guys we're going to look at, they're pretty close to the best, and you can make a pretty good argument that they are the best. But for me, they're not quite there. Although, I think there is a little bit of room in this conversation to say maybe one guy's better than another guy, but I still might prefer that other guy to the first guy because of the fit or because of the stability or something going on that makes me actually lean a slightly different way. So let's dive in with the one linebacker that I've seen some people, not that many, but some people say should be a first round pick. Not enough to put him in the first round of the aggregate, but a few. Payton Wilson. Payton Wilson is getting some first round buzz because he had an incredible combine and he's a remarkable athlete. North Carolina State, 24 years old, 6'4", 233 pounds, so he's a little bit bigger than even Edgerrin Cooper. 30.5-inch arms, that's a little bit of an alarm bell. 9-inch hands, ran a 4.4340, which is one of the fastest linebacker times ever, which is really remarkable if when he's 233 pounds. He runs a 1.54 10-yard split, which is really good as well, 88th percentile. 34.5-inch vert, which is okay. 9 foot 11-inch broad is okay as well. And that combine really kind of put him on the map as a real contender for best linebacker in this class. I didn't feel like he was on that level before this combine. The big boards, PFF has him in the first. ESPN and the Draft Network have him just outside the first. Tankathon and CBS have him in the middle second. And the aggregate has him in the mid second, which I think that's where he ends up going. I don't think he's going to be able to climb the ladder all the way up to the first round at this point. Insane production in 2023. He averaged over 10 tackles a game, almost 140 tackles, 17 and a half in the backfield, 6 sacks, 3 picks, 6 passes defensed. The production's off the charts on pretty much every level. He forced a fumble. PFF grade was 89.9, basically a 90. Year before that, still really good, right? I mean, obviously not as much bulk, but really efficient. A lot of plays made. 82 tackles, 12 and a half tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, 1 pick, 3 passes defensed, and 69.5 PFF grade. So he was good. He just wasn't good like he was in 2023. So he's been good for a little while now. He is an older player, so you would expect that. And this last year really put him in the conversation. So what I can say about Payton Wilson in the positive, obviously a phenomenal athlete. The speed and quickness that he brings to the table at his size is incredibly rare. He's got sideline to sideline coverage on the field, plays with a lot of energy, a lot of ferocity, a lot of drive to just continually put himself around the ball. So he's got the speed and he knows how to use it. He uses his acceleration to blitz really well. He's got over 10 sacks over the last 2 years combined. So he can blitz really good at using his short area quickness to blitz effectively. He's a heady player in coverage as well. He's got really good hands, which doesn't come into play that often. But when he has the opportunity to make an interception, he's usually going to come away with it. And that's going to matter some, right? That matters to some extent, right? Always giving maximum effort out there. Never really question his effort when he's out there. Always going at 100 miles an hour. He triggers really fast downfield, so he's not just fast. He also reacts quickly. He sees the play developing in front of him, and then he just goes. So Payton Wilson, a lot of nice things I can say about this guy for sure. The testing numbers just put it on a slightly different level, I think. That being said, there are definite issues here, and I feel like the testing numbers may have made people kind of overlook these issues a little bit. A lot of injuries in his ledger. He's had an extensive injury history. 2023, he was able to keep things pretty clean, but previous years, he's missed time. And that's part of the reason why he was still in college at the age that he was at. He doesn't have a lot of strength. He doesn't have like a lot of upper body strength. So he has difficulty getting off blockers. Like he's good at avoiding blockers, but when he gets stuck on a block, it's hard for him to shake it because he doesn't have the strength to like shed the blocker the way you would like. And like Cooper, actually, he does tend to play standing straight up, and that causes him to lose the leverage battle when he gets involved in an actual engagement. So I think that he needs to learn how to sink his hips a little bit at the point of contact. And I do think there are some over aggressive tendencies in his game where he just kind of overruns the play because he's just, a freight train out there, but sometimes that leads to you overrunning the play. So he's a ton of fun. He's a lot of fun as a prospect. But I can't shake this feeling that he's kind of a trap, right? It's a trap. The testing numbers, the stats, the belief of him being able to access his full potential in the NFL, it's a trap. But I'm going to fall in the trap here a little bit, and I'm going to say the second round is fine. I'm not buying the first round stuff, which is a minority anyway, but I do think he's worthy of being a mid-second round pick. All right, so that is another second round linebacker for us. Now we're going to take a look at the other guy who I view as a second rounder, Junior Colson of Michigan, and this might be the money shot right here. Junior Colson might be the money shot. Coached for 1 year under Mike Macdonald at Michigan, and also I think is more in line with what we might be looking for in this defense, potentially. Ultimately, it's up to Mike Macdonald what we're looking for, right? So it's his call, but I suspect that Junior Colson is going to be more in line with what he wants. Only 21 years old by the time the season starts, so he's going to get better. 6'2", 238 pounds, so he's bigger than the average modern linebacker. 32.5-inch arms, 9 and 3/8 inch hands, so measurements are fine. And by the way, one thing I didn't mention with Payton Wilson at further length was the arm length thing, where his short arms could lead to tackling problems at the next level. You can see that Junior Colson falls right in the middle of Cooper and Wilson. So a little more manageable there. The big boards, a few have him in the third, one has him in the second, a couple have him in the fourth. The mock draft database currently has him in the second round. So a little all over the place, not much of a consensus here. And you look at the numbers, you can kind of see why, right? Like over the last 2 years, he's got about 196 tackles, and only 8 of them have been for loss. 2 sacks, 0 sacks last year, 3 total passes defensed, no interceptions, no forced fumbles. You're looking at this right now, and you're probably thinking, where's the beef? Where's the beef here? Like, where are the numbers? Where are the statistics that get me excited? Maybe the PFF numbers get you excited. His grades have been really good the last 2 years, but you're like, where are the sacks? Where are the tackles for loss? I get it. I understand that you're probably thinking that right now. But you watch him play, you look at the tape, and you see a player who is bringing something to the table that a lot of these linebackers, even high in this draft, are not. He's a block shedder. He's got great upper body strength, and he's somebody who can take on a blocker, get off of him, and go make a play on the ball. Or if it's a situation where it's like a fullback or a lead blocker situation, he can take on the blocker with such force that it disrupts the play. Like he can blow a fullback away and disrupt the play that way. Or he can even hit a guard, a pulling guard with such heat that it's really hard for him to that it's really hard for the play to go the way it was designed. That is what he has that some of the previous guys don't have. And there's a lot of really good body control with Junior Colson. I like the way that he moves. He seems in control. He didn't test at the combine or his pro day, but he has the athletic profile of a modern linebacker based on the way he moves on the football field. He handles his zone drops well. He's capable in coverage. I know the stats aren't there, but his coverage skills are fine. He's a sound and hard-hitting tackler, and he understands leverage. He's somebody who will be the low man in a physical engagement, which that's part of the reason why I suspect Colson might be more appealing to us than even a more quote-unquote talented linebacker, because there are going to be some guys in this draft who are viewed as more talented, but Colson can do that stuff that those guys can't. Now, I do think that there are some shortcomings in his game that will hopefully get better in the coming years. He is only going to be 21 when the season starts. He is slow to trigger downhill, and he plays passively. There are opportunities for him to burst into the backfield to go make a play on the ball carrier, and get a tackle for loss, but a lot of the time he doesn't take them, which is why he has so few. Guys like Payton Wilson are constantly trying to shoot gaps and make plays in the backfield. Colson kind of plays a little more passively, which sometimes that works great, but sometimes it's like you're leaving big plays on the board here. His mental instincts are somewhat lacking against the run. I think that when you look at some linebackers who just seem to have a sixth sense of knowing where the play is going, Colson doesn't seem like he's got that all that well, which is part of the reason why his tackle numbers are a little bit low, although there are a lot of other reasons for that as well. And we don't have testing numbers for him. We have no idea what he runs. We have no idea what his explosiveness is. We can just go based off the tape, which is fine. I have no problem doing that, but it would have been nice to see some objective confirmation. So I think he's a great fit for what the Seahawks need right now. I like what he can do in terms of taking on blockers. That's something that jumps out to me a little bit because that's a big part of the reason why this run defense has struggled so much in recent years is because they don't have linebackers that can handle blockers. So when your defensive line gets leaky, like ours has been, it's hard to mitigate it. So I'd like to see Junior Colson in Seattle for sure, and I would go for it in the second round if I need to. I know that some people have him in the third or fourth round. I know that some of these big boards have him in the third. But if I need to spend a second round pick to get him, if we end up having one, then I'll do it. I will make it happen. So yeah, I like Junior Colson a lot. I like all these guys somewhat similarly. I'm suspicious of Payton Wilson, but they're all very appealing prospects. So let me know what you guys think down below of Colson and Wilson. Gonna do some more linebackers later today. See you guys then. Go Hawks. And let me hear it. Very important position for the Seahawks this offseason.